If you are going through a trap, you may have to use the cable feeding tool to get started. Do not attempt to push the spinning cable in by hand. Remove the pedal from the handle and place it on the floor so you can reach it easily beside the drain opening. Then take the cable feeding tool and press it against the cable as it goes into the drain opening, pushing the cable against the edge of the pipe. Put the power switch on the motor in the forward position. Step on the foot pedal and run the machine until the cable moves freely into the drain. Stop by releasing the pedal. Once the cable starts moving freely through the line, you no longer need the cable feeding tool. Return the switch to its position on the Model 82's handle. Wrap any excess length of hose onto the cord holder at the rear of the machine. Stand behind the machine and press the pedal to turn it on. The machine will start to move slowly toward the drain opening. Allow the cable to work its way through the drain by itself. Don't try to force the cable into the drain by pushing the machine. Make sure the machine isn't moving forward any faster than the cable is feeding itself into the drain. Avoid having any slack in the cable between the machine and the drain. If there's too much slack, the cable may whip. When there are only 2 feet of cable left between the drain opening and the machine, stop. You'll have to add another section of cable. First, detach the end of the cable from the machine. Hold the end of the cable while you disconnect it so it won't spring back. Then pull the machine away from the drain by 1 cable length. Take the end of the cable sticking out of the drain and attach it to the female end of another length of cable. Connect the other end of the cable to the machine. Roll the machine back so there's no slack in the cable between the machine and the drain opening. Stand behind the machine, press the air switch, and slowly walk the machine toward the drain as before. Don't force the cable into the drain. You won't clear the line any faster, and you could damage the cable or seriously injure yourself. The cable must turn freely. If it jams, the cable will build up torque, start to buckle, and then, in the blink of an eye, twist itself into a series of loops. If your hands are caught in a loop, you risk severe injury. Again, do not force the cable. If the cable begins to buckle or twist, stop by taking your hand off the air switch. When you meet resistance in the drain, switch the motor from forward to reverse and run for several seconds. Then forward again. Allow the cable to stop spinning before going in the other direction. The cable will move out of the drain by itself. Just back the machine up enough to take up any slack in the cable as it emerges from the drain. Keep moving the cable in and out of the drain until the resistance lessens and the cable moves freely again. Go slow. Again, don't force the cable. Run water into the drain to wash away any cuttings and clean off the cable. After the drain is clear, retract the cable from the drain line by putting the motor in reverse, depressing the pedal, and backing the machine away from the drain opening. Allow the cable to move out of the drain at its own rate. Just back up the machine enough to take up the slack in the cable. Disconnect each section as the connectors emerge from the drain. Remember to turn off the power switch when handling the cables. When you get close to the end of the last cable, turn off the switch and pull the cable out of the drain by hand. If you leave the machine unattended, switch the machine off and pull out the plug. If you have any questions or difficulties, ask your dealer. He'll be glad to give you further assistance. General Pipe Cleaners, the toughest tools down the line.